Hi, Rupert. So non-duality. I love the teachings. I follow the teachings. I understand it on mind level. I know it experientially. Yet there is something that really confuses me, and that's I sometimes, not sometimes, every day, when I wake up, I want to say thank you. I still operate in this kind of duality thing. I thank you, God, and even though I know there's only one being, one consciousness, I still have this need of like talking to something, and I heard you once saying that, yeah, it's just preconditioning of the mind. I mean, that was, you answered another question, but I thought this would be the answer. But then there is, like I like silent retreats. I really like doing them. And, it's 10 days, every day you go deeper. I get to the point where thoughts don't even, they are there, but they don't even make sense. And then around day 8, a dialogue starts. And it's a dialogue that has completely different quality than me talking to myself, but it's not a loop thoughts. It's a conversation. It almost feels like of my little self to the big self. It's questions are coming that I don't even mean to ask, but the questions are coming and the answers are coming so clear. And they're not like new answers. They're answers I knew, but they are now clear and obvious, and it's like, and I would think, wow, if this is preconditioning of the mind, and I am so deeply connected by day 9 of like, deep meditation, silent retreat. My question is, who is talking to who, and why does it feel so good? if it's just preconditioned mind, and is it wrong to do it? Because
is it wrong to talk to God, to thank God, or is it wrong to have this dialogue with yourself?
It's the same. It's the same.
Okay. Well. Okay. So, whichever it is, neither are wrong. It's perfectly okay to do both. The devotional literature of the Sufi and mystical Christian traditions was often written by people who well knew that there wasn't their being and God's being. They knew. Rumi, Hafiz, Bayazid Bastami, all these people, they knew well that the only being in them was God's being. And yet they still wrote poetry using the form of traditional dualistic subject-object relationship. I developed this habit very early on in my life. When I was a child, a young child, I had this devotional relationship with God. I used to talk to God. I used to make up prayers to God. So and at that time, I really felt that God was a being somehow at an infinite distance from myself. So I was praying, talking to God in a very in a conventional dualistic way. Then, of course, I embarked on this path in my late teens, and it became clear to me that there was not me and God, that my being is God's being. However, because I developed this habit once, I still now find myself sometimes just spontaneously and out loud speaking to God as I did when I was a 7-year-old boy. Of course, I know that the me and the you no longer exists in that way, but it's a poetic form, and it's more important that the Don't kill the form, because it's the content, it's the love, it's the gratitude that is important. It really doesn't matter how you express it. What is really being expressed is not the dualistic relationship you have with God. It is the love, the gratitude that is the inevitable consequence of this understanding. So don't be too politically correct in the way you express your love and understanding. So that's my response in relation to your conversation with God. In relation to your conversation with yourself, again, I would encourage you to have these dialogues, because you are, in asking a question, your mind is, in a way, challenging itself to investigate its experience more deeply and to express its understanding with clarity, with simplicity and clarity. And that is not for everybody, but for some people. It's certainly true for myself, and maybe for you. That is part of the process. So again, give yourself complete freedom to have these dialogues with yourself, to ask yourself a question and to formulate an answer that is true of your experience as cleanly and clearly and simply and economically as you can.
Thank you.